All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol OCGN, Ocugen Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And as we jump into this chart, I want every single investor and viewer to be aware that I have a ticker symbol towards the end of this video that you won't want to miss, and you definitely want to add it to your watch list. Now, this is a ticker symbol that I've talked about already twice in less than a month, and in the last 2 weeks, it's already almost 2x since we started talking about it. And it's almost 10x since it actually started to run. Now, this ticker symbol and this stock has so much room moving forward and potential in the sector that it's in. So I have a question for all the first-time viewers and investors coming across this ticker symbol towards the end of the video. And I have a question for every single subscriber and viewer that saw it the first time I talked about it and how you feel about it since that point. So stay tuned till the end because I look forward to seeing your guys' responses down below. So Ocugen, downward trend. Well, they went ahead and did a direct offering. Now, are direct offerings bad? Well, it depends on what the goal is. Now, it seems like Ocugen is doing it because they want to go ahead and have some type of cash reserve to help with distributing and the whole situation with Covaxin, which it kind of seems reasonable, but we need to see because this direct offering has pulled back the price and the price is having a hard time coming back up, right? So it's continuing now this downward trend. Besides a direct offering, Ocugen was set to have a pullback. So a pullback overall was bound to happen at some point, and it's healthy in the terms of the fact that there is a potential for this to fall down at some point, cool off, and start some sideways movement. Because I need to see here and show you guys together what's going on here. What a run, right? From $3 to almost $19, $18.80 or somewhere around that area, right? So here we are now at $12.65, currently $12.54. I mean, it's just bouncing around. It's the last couple of minutes of the market. Now, when you really think about the sideways movement of consolidation, this one was from about December 23rd all the way to the 31st. That was almost a week there. Then we had another one, but this one was kind of in a downward trend for almost 2 weeks. And then it bounced up. And then we had another one for 2 weeks, slightly going in a downward trend, and then it bounced up. And then we had this one for 5 days. We have not seen consolidation here for days. It was bound to happen, a pullback, but we need it to cool off at some point like it did here, right? It jumped from $161 to $3. It maintained itself above $250, and it stayed in that area, in that channel, and that's what we need to look for now moving forward. Right now, this is going in a downward trend, so we need to watch it carefully, but anyone that is long and believes in Ocugen moving forward, this is either two ways to look at it. Opportunity to jump in and probably average up, right? Or average down depending on where your entry level was. Or this is the opportunity to get out and take your slight profits or shave off some of your position and watch how this goes moving forward. There's two ways to go about it. It's completely optional, and I'm not here to tell you guys to buy, sell, or hold any positions on Ocugen or any stock I talk about in these videos. I'm just here to enlighten you guys, and you guys make a rational decision based off of your due diligence and research. But those are the two ways to probably look at it. But if you're truly long on this one, then this is not something to worry about. And this type of movement is definitely something that happens to all stocks. But you also need to be reminded of how long it took in certain periods for this to work its way back up or consolidate, because consolidation is a healthy sign. This is way too much in such a short period of time. So could a lot of those gains be wiped away? Probably. But if you're long and you believe in Ocugen's product, I mean, there's potential here, but Ocugen has to get through that FDA approval. I think that's one of the biggest things, and news and speculation makes these things happen, and it's great, but we need to focus in on the chart right now. And a lot of investors, once they heard about the offering, they decided to get out, because you're seeing that right here. After an offering, if investors believe in it and they feel comfortable in the stock, this would have kept going this way. And it's going this way. So investors are shaving off their positions by a slight bit or actually getting out completely. So Ocugen needs to get through FDA approval. And I think that's one of the most important things right now moving forward for this stock, because yes, they are the Covaxin US market distributor. But for them to start seeing revenue and actually be the US market distributor, they have that approval by Borat, right? The company that creates Covaxin, but they haven't really gotten it in the US. And that's going to be the biggest part and goal here for Ocugen. So we need to watch this carefully. We need to see how it reacts and how quickly it starts moving downwards, or does it start moving sideways? We need to see some consolidation somewhere above $3. Anywhere above $3 would look slightly healthy because the stock is holding itself up. But I mean, if all these gains just get wiped away, that would be something to look further into beyond just the chart. So here we are with the 50-day moving average, 1224, right? And if that gets broken through, we are going to end up in bearish territory. We're slightly above it in bullish territory, okay? So our support level is 1119. If that gets broken through, the bears have accomplished breaking through the 50-day moving average and support, and this could be on its way down to newer lows and new support levels. Now, the next one I would look at is down here at 815, 820, give or take. I would pay close attention to that, but right now, that is not one to worry about just yet, but I do want you guys to write it down just in case. But 1119 right now is the most important support level and the lowest point reached in this downward trend. Now, the highest point reached in the day, which is the most important point right now for the bulls, is up here at 1457. The bulls need to break through this point and turn it into a support to pull further away from the 50-day moving average and work their way up to newer highs. I want to emphasize that the bulls need to break through 1457 and turn that into a support. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Stay tuned till the end, because the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys, you won't want to miss it, and you definitely want to have it on your watch list. So for everyone that has stayed to this point in the video, the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys is a reiteration of the previous stock graphs and also where the stock was and where it's at now. So I think this is the second time I talk about this one in less than a month, and I really want every single investor and viewer to be aware of this one, especially the new coming investors and subscribers. I don't want you guys to miss this one. And for every single subscriber that missed it in the previous videos, if you're having the chance to watch it now, I really want you guys to be aware of this company and do your due diligence and do your research and further digging to understand this ticker symbol and the potential moving forward. So the ticker symbol is CLNE, right? So let's go ahead and pick it up here. Let's see if it pops up. Clean Energy Fuels Corporation. Now, in less than a month, it has actually risen, right, from about $10 all the way up to highs here of almost $19. That's almost 100% gain. But let's just go ahead and say it from $10, right? Forget about the $10.45. We talked about it before that. We talked about it right here at $10.998. So $10 to $18.70, that's 87% gain, okay? And there's so much more room still for this stock. This stock has been growing exponentially over time. I know that when you look at it, you're like, oh, well, there's going to be a point where this is going to drop. Well, we went through one of the massive drops right here after it took off where I was talking about it. This was the first time I went ahead and mentioned it, January 22nd. And I said, okay, we might see it cool off and go a little bit lower. We want to look for some consolidation, and then it can start to hit newer highs. Well, it took off after that, soon after, and it hit 12, came back down to 10, and a lot of investors already saw 12, and they said, okay, 12 is possible. So now we need to get to 12, and we need to break through 12. Well, that certainly happened. It brought itself right back up, slightly above it, brought itself back down to 12, and now it took off to 18. So the question is, could this go ahead and consolidate up here? Could we see this pull back somewhere in the middle of this? That's totally possible and healthy for the way the chart has been acting to this point. I want every single investor to be aware of all these consolidation periods and runs up. These are very healthy signs of a growing stock, okay? So it's clearly showing that. Now you have to do your due diligence and research, because now we're talking about it again at its highest point. We've talked about it at one of its highest points here when it was at 10, and it had recently hit 12, 11 and some change. So it was still showing signs that there could be some room, and analysis ratings were also looking pretty good. So now we've hit new highs. So analysis ratings need to be reiterated and upgraded. And then we also need to see for consolidation or a pullback, but obviously not coming back down to 12, somewhere in the middle. And if it does come back to 12, may it consolidate in 12, and then from there on out, hit newer highs and new resistance levels for this stock to continue this exponential growth. But the potential here going into the year and the coming years is phenomenal, and there's so much room here for this to continue. But from January 22nd till now, 87% growth is pretty phenomenal and interesting to me. So I wanted to go ahead and ask those of you that have found out about this since the first time I talked about it to this point, how have you felt about the graph? Did you add this to your watch list? Have you kept it on your radar? Did you add it to your watch list but disregarded it? All right, I want to ask these questions to you guys. All the viewers coming across this for the first time, I would encourage you to go ahead and do your due diligence and research. And just by looking at the graph, how does it make you feel? Do you see that this can continue to run? Do you see a pullback and consolidation? But the way it's been acting, do you think that this can repeat itself, right? But onto newer highs, like beyond this. So like if we were able to copy and paste this, but starting off at 18, can you see this type of distance and growth getting attached here beyond the next coming months and also year? So I wanted to ask that question to you guys, because that's what you really need to think about when you look at a graph, right? What is it acting like before, and could it repeat that same process moving forward to newer highs and new resistance levels? Obviously, the volatility of the stock market is always going to exist. There's been up and downs throughout this whole process, but if it can continue doing that behavior, there's room here for this to continue to probably 2x from where it is now, because we've almost 2x from where we talked about it in just weeks, and it's actually gone ahead in 9x, right? Almost 10x from way down here, these lows in November. So very interesting stuff. I wanted to ask that to all you guys that are watching, every single investor and viewer. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.